you so much for joining me for our story time today. Do you remember who this is? Friends, this is Mrs. Hilscher, in case you forgot.
Girls.
So I thought it would be fun since today is pajama day and hopefully a lot of you are in your pajamas at home. Miss Hilscher thought it would be fun if Mrs. Hilscher did our story time today. And she is going to read one of Miss Hilscher's most favorite books when I was little, when I was your age.
Yes. All right, are you ready, Miss Hilscher?
I'm ready.
All right, okay. Miss Hilscher, you get all cozy and snuggled in there. All right, boys and girls, this was one of Miss Hilscher's favorite books when she was a little girl. And you can see this book has been used and read a lot. You can see that by the way that it looks. It's kind of worn out because we used to read it every night before I would tuck her in and she would go to bed. All right, boys and girls, it's called Goodnight Moon. And my friends, the author is Margaret Wise Brown. She's the person who wrote the words. Goodnight Moon. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon. Boys and girls, there's the red balloon. There's the telephone. That's kind of an old-fashioned looking telephone. Looks much different than your grown-up cell phones. And a picture of the cow jumping over the moon. And there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs. And 2 little kittens and a pair of mittens. You see the mittens? Maybe they had washed them and maybe they hung them there to dry. And a little toy house and a young mouse. We see the toy house and the young little mouse. He's really small, isn't he? He's kind of hard to see over here.
Oh wait, I am noticing, wow, there's a lot of different rhyming words on that page. Friends, did you notice that? I'm noticing that kittens and mittens, those words rhyme, they sound alike. And also house and mouse. We know that those 2 words rhyme as well because they sound the same. Wow, that is pretty cool.
Good job, Miss Hilscher.
Thank you.
And a comb and a brush. Here's the comb, here's the brush. A comb and a brush and a little old lady who was whispering. Do you remember, Miss Hilscher? Hush. Ooh, what does hush rhyme with?
Brush.
Good job. And a bowl full of
Mush?
mush.
What's
right.
mush, Mrs. Hilscher?
Ooh, mush is kind of like, have you ever had oatmeal? Have you ever had oatmeal, boys and girls, or a hot cereal? Something like that. It's kind of soft to eat, kind of soupy. You know, have your boys and girls ever heard the story of the 3 little bears? Have they ever heard about the porridge that Mama Bear made for them?
Yes.
So mush is kind of like porridge.
Oh,
Good question, Miss Hilscher.
thank you.
Good night, room. Oh, let's say good night to the room. Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow, jumping over the moon. Good night, light, and the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. There's the light. There's the red balloon. And boys and girls, there's a picture of the bears sitting in the chairs. Wow. Good night, kittens. Good night, mittens. There's their mittens hanging there drying. Good night, clocks, and good night, socks. My friends, there's a clock, and there are the socks. Ooh, Miss Hilscher, do you hear what I hear?
I do. I can hear that clocks and socks rhyme. They sound the same.
Good job.
Wow.
I love books that have rhyming words in them.
I do too.
Good night, little house. Good night, mouse. And there's that little tiny
It's a
mouse.
little
It's almost so tiny you can hardly see it. Good night, comb, and good night, brush. The comb and the brush. Look how the bear's getting all snuggly in bed, ready to go to bed. Good night, nobody. There's nobody on that page. Good night, mush. And good night to the old lady, whispering, hush. She's probably trying to be really quiet. Somebody's asleep. Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. What kind of noises do you think they might hear? Maybe the twinkling of the stars, maybe the wind blowing, maybe even some snoring, do you think?
Maybe the fire.
Yeah.
Crackling.
The fire crackling. All right, Miss Hilscher, did you like that?
I did. I love that story.
That's one of my favorites.
Mhm.
Okay, I think I'm ready for a nap, Miss Hilscher. What
so.
about you?
Me
Can I
too.
snuggle up under your blanket?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, friends, thank you so much for joining us for our story time today. I hope that you loved that book just like Miss Hilscher still loves it today. Even though I'm a lot older, I still love that story. And thank you, Mrs. Hilscher, for reading that
You're
to
welcome,
me.
Miss Hilscher. Thank you for letting me.
All right, have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. Bye, friends.